Hi, this is Roger Moore, and you're listening to James Bond Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Emergency JBR podcast. Billie Eilish's song is out, everybody. It's Valentine's Day. What a wonderful Valentine's gift for everybody. And I am joined by Mr. Brian Dobson. Say hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Mr. John Williams. Say hello, JW.
Hello, hello.
And of course, Mr. Jack Lugo. How you doing, Jack?
I'm all right, Tom. How are you?
Good. I'm very good, man. It's early over here. I'm still in Thailand. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. So I set my alarm especially. Mrs. is still asleep. And I got up and immediately listened to the song as soon as my eyes opened. So, being the music of Bond man, JW, talk to me. What are you thinking? What are your initial thoughts?
Well, I was in just frantically shutting down work. You know, like, okay, take that last call, lay down, take a second. And I put on the headphones and I laid down and I downloaded it onto iTunes, paid for it, bought it, and I hit play. And are you asking me for my initial reaction?
Yeah, what was your first initial thought?
My first initial reaction is it sucked.
Wow, that's surprising to hear from John.
Really?
He's usually the most enthusiastic person when it comes to
it gets better. It gets better. I mean, the story gets better. The song gets better for me, obviously. But no, my initial reaction was it's more of the same. You know?
Holy shit.
I was not expecting to hear that.
Yeah, I know.
No, I wouldn't either.
That's it. I feel like my initial reaction was its greatest strength is that it's a continuation of Skyfall and Writings on the Wall. Its biggest weakness is that it's a continuation of Skyfall and Writing on the Wall.
Do you know what? That was how I thought to myself. This is an absolute blend of the last two songs. It's very close to Writings on the Wall, like in terms of delivery, vibe, and everything. Yeah. Interesting.
And then I laid there and I didn't do anything, and I let the song play through about 6 or 7 times. Then I went to look for the lyric, and somehow it took me to the 007 main page. And there's a little 30-minute clip with the song and a bunch of new footage. And when I saw the song with the footage I hadn't seen, I really started to enjoy it. And then I listened to it 7 more times in a row as I was getting ready for this. And it's starting to get me. You know, I'm starting to okay, right. I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get it. But I figured out what the big reveal is based on the song, whole movie.
Okay. All right. Well, don't say anything.
I'm not saying anything yet.
All right.
Let's move on.
All right. Interesting. Yeah. Let's move over to Dobson. Same question to you, man. Initial thoughts.
Well, my initial thoughts were exactly the same as JW. I was a little bit underwhelmed. I was a little bit underwhelmed when I first heard maybe the first 30 seconds. I thought, I'm not sure. But, you know, I've listened to it 4 or 5 times now. I've written down here, I've got about 9 or 10 negatives, I think. But my initial reaction, sure.
All right, interesting. So, all right, then we'll get to your thoughts in a minute. We're gonna go a bit deeper. Jack, what were your initial thoughts, mate, on first listen?
Okay, well, I was on my way home from my job in New York, and I live in New Jersey, and the highway was jammed with broken heroes on a last chance power drive, to say the least. But but yeah, no, I put the song on. The song broke. I was in the car with my wife, and we put it on. My wife hated it. I was kind of in the middle. On the first listen, I was kind of concentrating to get the lyric, and then I after it played the first time, then I went on Google, looked up the lyrics, found the lyrics, and then listening to it for the second time, reading along with the lyric, it started to gel for me. So I actually my thumb is I'm still kind of in the middle. Like I don't love it, but I think the lyrics are having read the lyrics along with the song helps. But I wouldn't say that I'm in love with it. I think I'm kind of on the fence.
All right, interesting thoughts. To finish up the opening segment, then I would say my initial thoughts were as follows. So if you imagine me, I'm asleep in bed, my eyes open, I roll over. I had my phone and the headphones already plugged in, ready to go. So I, like last night when I went to sleep, plugged them in, pressed play, and I went, this sounds just like Writings on the Wall. And then as it went through, I've got some, I had some definite like, okay, this sounds very much like Writings on the Wall. And then the further it went through the song, the happier with it I got. And I must say, I did get chills on first listen. That didn't happen for me with Writings on the Wall. With Writings on the Wall, I had to listen to that a good 10 to 20 times. Like I remember when Writings on the Wall kicked in and Sam Smith started singing, I was like, not sure if I like this. And then when I listened to it like 10, 20 times after that, I was like, okay, I've got used to it. The whole initial knee-jerk thing is over. I'm enjoying this. This one, I was like, I mean, I enjoyed it straight away. Whether it's a great future classic or not, it's too soon to tell. But my initial reaction was a positive one. Like, all right, that's nice. I'm getting some tingles. What I would say is it's a blend of Skyfall. It's a blend of Writings on the Wall with a little bit of The World Is Not Enough thrown in. When the groove kicks in with the drums and stuff, there's some David Arnold in there, like 90s David Arnold, World Is Not Enough vibes in there. And I enjoy it. And then the lyrics, there are some lines in there that get me very excited. So I'm going to read off the lyrics for everybody now. I've got them right in front of me. Because let's face it, sometimes when Billie Eilish sings, you don't know what the fuck she's saying. So I thought I'd do a little public service by reading the lyrics for everybody in a British accent.
Yes, very much so.
So here we go. I should have known I'd leave alone. Just goes to show that the blood you bleed is just the blood you own. We were a pair, but I saw you there. Too much to bear. You are my life, but life is far away from fair. Was I stupid to love you? Was I reckless to help? Was it obvious to everybody else? That bit, and then the chorus, sorry. That I'd fallen for a lie, you were never on my side. Fool me once, fool me twice, are you death or paradise? Now you'll never see me cry, there's just no time to die. Verse 2, I let it burn, you're no longer my concern. Faces from my past return, another lesson yet to learn. And then another chorus, that I'd fallen for a lie, you were never on my side. Fool me once, fool me twice, are you death or paradise? Now you'll never see me cry, there's just no time to die. And then that again to the end of the song, which makes me say, what has Madeline been up to? Goodness
it's
gracious.
obvious. It's obvious to me what she's done. What else could it be?
All right, I'm scared to ask because I don't.
Yeah, what are your thoughts there,
it's obvious. She is directly responsible for Vesper's death.
All right, okay, that's a big one.
That's
an idea.
I mean, the video cassette and Tangier, the whole thing. I mean, like as soon as I heard it, I was like, what could it possibly be that she's done so wrong? You know, I mean, how has she wronged him so bad?
Maybe she hooked him up with the boyfriend that we saw in Quantum. Yeah, the boyfriend who was supposedly captured. Yeah,
something about that.
Yeah,
if it's not linked to Vesper, it's linked to M. But I don't know how they could do that. And does that really have the stakes that Vesper does? So she was involved with Vesper's death.
Now, would you say that idea, did that purely come from the lyrics, or was that when you looked at this extra footage that's been brought out with the song?
Perhaps a bit of both.
I see. I'm scared now. I'm scared because I'm in that little sweet spot where I don't know that much, so I feel good about that.
Well, listen. You got to get into my head. It's a scary place in my head. I had a dream the other night that the whole bridge with the rope and he's jumping off.
Yeah,
that was him committing suicide.
Oh, yeah, that's
sorry. I'm going there, but this is what this song is doing to me. After I let it settle and set, and I think once it's nighttime and the sun's gone down, had a couple of glasses or something. I think this song is a really good song. But here's the question I wanted to ask you guys: is it a pop song? Like, is this a song that's going to chart top the charts?
I don't think so.
Well, here are my thoughts on this. This is why you choose somebody like her. Because she's in that little sweet spot of fame where whatever she does is probably going to go to number one.
Yeah.
And, that's why it's harsh to say that's why you choose Adele or whatever, or Sam Smith, but they do fit into that pocket. Like pretty much everything they do comes in at number one. So even if it's not your typical pop tune that normally would go to number one for that person, it probably will with the extra push from it being a Bond song as well. like that it being in the consciousness. I would imagine it. I would be, knowing with her previous track record, I'd be surprised if it didn't. But then if it wasn't a Bond song, I don't know. But let's go on, Jack. What you got to say?
I think you could interpret the lyrics in two different ways. Like I think, like JW said, it could be from Madeline's perspective, like, you know, she's obviously done something to portray Bond, but it could also be from Bond's perspective. I mean, in a way that Writings on the Wall was a little bit like from Bond's perspective. So it's I think in a way, though, the lyrics themselves, I think are pretty clever in that, you know, it's uncertain. You could probably, even after watching the film, you might be able to interpret it both ways. So there's that aspect to it.
Yeah, I suppose the line that does it for me is, or there's two actually. There's the line, "You're no longer my concern, faces from my past return, another lesson yet to learn." That tells me that's I feel Vesper has to come into that. Otherwise, what else is it? I think you're right, John.
It's gotta be.
Then the other thing is the chorus, that I'd fallen for a lie, you were never on my side. So it's like, what does that, like, that's a powerful statement, and that's got to be Madeline. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. So Brian, you said you had some notes you'd taken. You'd gone deeper on your thoughts. Let's hear those thoughts, man.
Yeah, well, you know, to begin with, as I said earlier, I thought I don't really like the kind of, I know it's very street, but the breathy delivery.
Yeah.
Not a real fan of that. I just don't think it's my cup of tea, that. However, I think once the song developed, I like the kind of orchestral build-up. It reminds me a little bit Diamonds Are Forever, where it actually starts to build up as the track develops.
I see that is a similar sort of in terms of the build, isn't it? It's very sparse at the beginning, and then absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's very layered, very kind of moody. I think visually with the title sequence, it'll work terrifically. But I think musically speaking, I think it's terrific. I just don't really like the actual song delivery, I think.
Fair enough. I suppose the thing to remember is, look at us. I'm a couple of years shy of 40. You know, we're all men in the middle regions of our lives.
Totally.
And Billie Eilish was 13 years old when Spectre came out. You know what I mean?
This is me throwing myself off the bridge.
Right. So you have to. We have to be conscious of the fact that she is not for us. We are not her target market.
We're all obsolete, Tom.
Yeah, it's like that. We're like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, and she's the T-1000. Do you know what I mean? She's the newer model. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we do have to bear that in mind. That like we said about the breathy style and all the rest of it. I get it, but if it's the modern thing that the kids are listening to, I guess, you know, it's like when your grandma disapproved of the Beatles, isn't it? You know what I mean? On some level. So we do have to keep that in mind. I think that was an extreme example, I will admit. Yes, it was indeed. But you know the flavour I'm shooting at. But no, so here's some of my thoughts about that, what you were saying there, Brian, with the layering as it comes in. So it starts on very haunting. I feel like it does sound very Bondy. Right, it definitely has that flavour for me. One of the things that sticks out is, like, I'm not sure about that, is there's a couple of things in there that feel a bit too on the nose. Like, that sounds Bondy, so we'll wedge that in. There's that thing with the trumpet, that screaming trumpet that comes in, like, quite early on. It's still just piano and vocals, and then there's this like kind of Bondian sounding trumpet. And to me, that sounds a bit much. It's like, we need something to add a bit more Bondian sound. Let's just drop that in there. It doesn't seem to quite go. It seems a bit of an obvious choice. I feel like it would have been better without that. And then the very end, you've got that glang chord at to end the whole song. But the glang, and I'm like, again, that to me seems a bit obvious, and it sounds a bit out of place. It sounds a bit tacked on.
Yeah,
just to sound.
If she wasn't writing this
I should apologise to everybody, by the way, because I'm in a hotel. Exactly, yeah. But I would just say there are traffic and all sorts going past me. I'm sitting outside the hotel room at the moment, and there's all sorts of people walking past. So if you're hearing loads of background noise, that's what it is. So I had to do an emergency. Anyway, what are your thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, it does. It's so, like you said, it's on the nose, and knowing that Johnny Marr was part of this, I was kind of excited, and that's the only time you can hear Johnny Marr, and it's just a little obvious.
Yeah.
Going back to something you said, Brian, it's going to be the slowest title sequence you've ever seen. Like visually, it has to be. I mean, so I don't know, guys. Look, I was really, with Boom Shot Dis, I was just hoping for something that's got some like sex to it, something got a groove. Like, let's hear some bass. Let's get the hips moving. Like,
I was also hoping for an up-tempo.
Yeah, I really wanted that, and so I think it's a case of not getting what I want.
I
don't know.
Some of the reason why I'm maybe underwhelmed is I was kind of possibly thinking this would be a bit more of a rocky, high tempo track. Or have a bit more of an edge, and it's a bit more ballady than I was really, banking on. I think.
Yeah. If Chris Cornell was still alive and he had to write a song called "No Time to Die," he'd just knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
When I was listening to her other stuff, like there's that big song "Bad Guy," isn't it? That was a big hit for her. I was thinking, what my order for this song, if I could have placed my order, I'd have said, let's go Goldeneye, let's get a little sexy groove like that going, and then couple that with the breathy vocals. You could have had like a real sort of Goldeneye-esque groove. That would have been my particular order.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very similar to the last two, isn't it? There's nothing new going on here. Let's be sure.
I was hoping also, I kept waiting as I was listening to the song. Her vocal delivery to me would lend itself really well to some big, beautiful strings. Some various strings, and you didn't even really get that. I like her, and I knew about her last year. She did a song called, I think it's called "Everything I Wanted," which was a beautiful song. It was one of my favorite songs of last year, so I'm hip with the kids. But it just,
one of us is.
Yeah, I don't know. Comes from dating younger women. It's just like, I don't know, some beautiful strings, like you said, Tom, something a little bit more classical in tradition. And by the time she hits that big final note, you kind of see it coming, right? You know what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah, I mean, there is a section there that like it's almost like she's gone, I'm listening to Skyfall, I'm listening to Writings on the Wall, and I'm going to do a blend of those two. Even there's one part, like just running into the chorus there where she goes a little bit higher, like falsetto style. It's almost like the same thing as Sam Smith does. How do I live? How do I breathe?
Yeah.
There's my Sam Smith impression for you.
That was good.
It's that, but done again. You know what I mean? So interesting. What were some of your other notes there, Brian? What else did you have to say?
I think a lot of them there were covered really, because I like the orchestral kind of build up. So when I first heard it, I thought first 30 seconds to a minute didn't really grab me, and then when it started to kick in a little bit more, I can see the music working. This I know she's collaborated with Hans Zimmer, and I think musically it will work. I just didn't quite get the kind of the vibe of it really. But
do you think it's a case of listening to it more and more? Because like we often say, JW, it's that thing of like you have a knee-jerk reaction when you first hear something, especially when you have other thoughts or expectations and then what you actually get. And, I feel like a lot of people had that with Writings on the Wall, where it's like this wasn't what I wanted or expected. And then that is your initial thing. And then over time you warm to it. Jack, what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, it definitely needs. I definitely need to listen to it more. I listened to it exactly 3 times because, like I said, I was rushing home and I was in the car with my wife. I definitely owe her because she didn't like the song when she heard it, and I had her listen to it 3 times, and I'm not. She wasn't very happy. to say the least. But I was trying to concentrate, and obviously, after the first time, she was like, "Do we have to listen to this again?" And I said, "Yes, I have to be able to talk about it, and I have to learn the lyric." so, so yeah, I mean, I need to listen to it a few more times. I think the thing is, obviously, there is sort of an age disparity. Obviously, Billie Eilish is very popular. And I mean, I hate to bring this up, but I know I hate to bring this comparison up, but let's say, Madonna had legions of fans when she did her
Oh,
Dark
Jesus.
Side of the Day
Yeah.
song, and I'm sure, and she still has legions, obviously, but at that time when that song was released, I'm sure her fans absolutely loved that song. So, and I get the impression that Billie Eilish's fans will be into the song, and if from a marketing perspective, if that gets them interested in the movie, then that's a positive thing. In terms of like the I guess my impression of the artistic merit of the song, I'm still on the fence. I mean, I do have to still listen. I do have to listen to it more though. I mean, I don't. I'm the type of person that like sometimes things grow on me. So like when you even songs that I love today, I mean, maybe I didn't love the first time or first 3 times I listened to it.
Absolutely. There's something we've often said in it, JW. Some of the best music you listen to for your whole life, you didn't like when you first heard it, and you have to work. Like we said that about Bowie, didn't we? Like a lot of his stuff, when you first hear it, you're like, what the fuck is this? And then over years, you realize that it's a work of genius. Not saying this one is a work of genius. I think it's too early to tell. It might be. Who knows? But there we go.
You said a good point, John, about the new release of this footage film that they haven't included as yet. I think it works when you see the footage of the film, and I think I can see this working on the big screen with a Daniel Kleinman title sequence with a really strong images with that music over the top. Obviously, I think it will really work. I think listening it in isolation, probably because I've only heard it 4 or 5 times, hasn't quite grabbed me yet.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think I need to take you guys have inspired me to take some of my own advice that I'm always preaching. I think we as Bond fans, if we just listen to the song once and we come to a conclusion after listening to it once and then stick to that conclusion, there are going to be a lot of unhappy fans. So let's give it some time. Let's spend some time with it. Listen to it under different settings. Let it breathe a little bit, and I think that it'll ultimately be a fantastic James Bond theme song. A lot of times if it had an alien, like her head split open and aliens flew out, I still wouldn't have been impressed. Like the expectation is so monumental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I think, as I always preach, that we just got to give it some time and stick with it. And I've gotten 2 text messages from 2 different JBR fans. Neither one of them were good. So it's going to be a shitstorm. I mean,
okay. Well, on that note, let's take it over to the JBR family, because when it came out, I posted the link. I posted the link on the socials. Let's see what we've got. Okay,
they are not going to be happy.
All right.
Yeah,
so here
I
we
don't
go.
think you're going to find very many positive comments.
Oh, all right. Okay, so we've got some predictions here. Let's see. So we've got top comment here at the moment. First comment I'm looking at is from Gary Stevens in capital letters, all caps. It says, "For God's sake, this song needs bloody subtitles. Mumble, mumble, fucking mumble." Fair enough. Nicholas Hewitt says, "The song is brilliant, lyrically perfect, with lots of callbacks to previous films. Love the nod back to the old school songs with the trumpets, etc. too, but completely the wrong person to perform it. Without the lyrics in front of me, I struggle to make them out as she mumbles and lacks so much passion. It's a big shame, but I'm sure it won't ruin the film." Matthew Chernov says, "My 2 cents, it's heavy on mood and atmosphere, but light on energy. It's Skyfall without the power. A slow build in search of an ending that it barely reaches. It's more successful than Sam Smith's odious song, but that's not saying much, to be honest. She literally could have farted into the microphone and it still would have been better than Smith's lame attempt at a theme. Oh, I wish he had actually bothered to sing the theme rather than just whisper it. I can't see this getting younger audience excited, to be perfectly honest. I wanted an all-out belter in the tradition of Live and Let Die, License to Kill, not another gloomy and morose whimper about love. Oh well, not really my bag." Maybe a cool-looking credit sequence will add some of the verve and excitement this one is sadly missing. Now, some of these go into huge detail, so I'm gonna skim read some of these just to get a general feeling.
Just
Go on, Jack,
a
you've
quick
got some
question. Let's just for the sake of argument, if you can separate the song from the performance and take Billie Eilish out of it, what do you think of the actual song? Putting aside her performance.
Do you know what? That's an interesting thing that you said there, because I felt the same thing about Writings on the Wall. There was such a backlash against that, and I genuinely like the song, and I still do. But I think if you took his vocal out and you listen to the instrumental of that, that is 100% Bond through and through. There is no mistake in it.
Yeah.
100% Bond. When he put his vocal on, it was such a different sound. It's like a dude with a very feminine voice, and that's such a unique and different voice as well. It's not like a Tom Jones or a Shirley Bassey that's straight down the line. It's different, and I think that was the disconnect for a lot of people there. I feel like if you'd have put a woman singing Writings on the Wall, I don't think there'd have been any complaints about it. I think it was mainly that dude's voice. So it's interesting you say that, because this breathy sort of half mumbled style, as middle-aged gentlemen, perhaps we just don't understand it, and the kids, they're all mumbling to each other every day, and we don't even know what's going on. Who knows?
I think Cue the Music are going to knock this song out of the park. I mean, they did this because Writings on the Wall. I mean, if you listen to the Cue the Music version, with Carrie singing it, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you get the feels listening to their version of it. So I think, Warren and Carrie, they're going to really do a superb job with the song. I can't wait to hear what they do with it.
Absolutely.
The last three songs too have had an instrumental B-side released on the CD. So hopefully we'll get a nice instrumental version of this as well.
All right, let's hope so. And then some more comments coming in. Andy Guy says, "I like it," and as many have picked up on the "Fool Me" lyric. James Foster says, "I bet Sia is pissed. Billy sounds like early Sia, except Sia can bash this out better." Ralph Lewandowski says she nailed it. Frank Pismerzak, I can't say that last name, I'm sorry, dude, but it says, "I listened to it with the Spectre title sequence on the side. It fits. I'm not crazy about hearing the breathing of Billie Eilish through the song, but it's okay. The music is bewitching." Robert Bartolome says, "I'm surprised how restrained it is, but lovely tune. Love the Fool Me Once Twice that harkens back to Vesper." Ambers Hunter the Fourth says, "Personally, I really like it. Fits the tone of the Daniel Craig timeline and sounds very appropriate for what we are likely to get on screen." Sean Black says, "Better than the last one, but what isn't? Not particularly impressed on first listen. Hoping I'll enjoy it more over the credits." Elliot Rose says, "It sounds just like Writings on the Wall. Sad piano and wispy, weak vocals. Give me power. Give me something to kick it." Dennis James says, "I like it more than Writings on the Wall, but it really makes me long for a more powerful melody. Something that gets the Bondian adrenaline going." There's loads of comments, so I could be here all day reading.
It's good. There's some positivity though. Like I thought it was just going to be a bloodbath. No.
Oh yeah. So
Shit show.
compared to, I mean, just talking about the actual song, setting aside the performance, compared to Writings on the Wall, how would you do you like this song better, or do you prefer Writings on the Wall to this?
I would say I don't think this is any indication of quality, but because it's different depending on what it is. Some of the music I love and still love to this day and listen to more than any, I didn't like it at the beginning and grew to love over the time. I had to work to like Writings on the Wall. I had to listen to it 20 times before I really sort of got it and was like, I'm happy with this. This is cool. This one, I'm led there with my eyes closed. I'm listening to it. I'm imagining what the title sequence might look like as I'm listening to it for the first time. And I've got to say, I got some little tingles down the spine. I got the tingles. There is definitely that, there's something about a Bond song, a good Bond song, that makes you just squint a little bit when you listen to it. Do you know what I mean? You just narrow the eyes a little bit and you kind of look from side to side like you're sneaking. And this does it. It captures it for me. So my thumb goes up. I'm happy with this. So there's my little review. Jack, what about you?
Just thinking about the song, I think I do prefer this to Writings on the Wall. I don't know if I got any tingles, but if I'm just analyzing the actual song setting aside like the breathy performance, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to chew on in terms of the lyric, and obviously the some of the orchestration. It does sound very Bondian, and Warren put out that video comparing the snippet to other Bond songs, and you definitely hear. You know, there's definitely something there that's sort of intangible that makes it feel Bondian. So I actually, I guess compared to Writings on the Wall, I do prefer this one. But I have to listen to it.
That's one part of your question I didn't answer. But yeah, I already prefer this to Writings on the Wall.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Strong call. I might agree with you.
JW.
Listen, I'm just from talking to you guys right now. I can't wait to listen to it again. Here I go.
There you go. That's
I'm back. I'm down for it. And in all honesty, I'm already thinking, because I got to be honest with you guys. Yesterday, I bought my ticket to come to London, and I booked my hotel. So I know on the 27th of March, when I hit LAX International Terminal and I'm waiting to get on that British Airways flight, on that overnight flight, and I put on those noise canceling headphones and have that glass of champagne, this song is going to sound fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Fathers of London, lock up your daughters. JW's on his way.
So it's going to be an amazing. So like I'm already kind of going like my palms just started sweating. Like it's. I think it's going to be a great song. We just got to give it some time and let it breathe a little bit. And you listen to the music. The music does sound pretty good. And I know it was Hans Zimmer, Johnny Marr, and I think we're getting a little taste of what the actual score will sound like. Obviously, that's the theme. So I'm already thinking, how is that going to reflect,
Yeah, let's hope it is weaved in like we always want.
Yeah, I think that's my hope too. Is that they weave it in.
I think it will.
Jack, what's the name of the dude that's Hans Zimmer's second in command on this?
Steve Mazzaro.
Steve Mazzaro.
Yeah, I have to double check that name, but I'm pretty sure he's one of the other composers in Remote Control, that score production company. And he actually put up something on Instagram earlier today. Steve Mazzaro, Mazzaro. So he's the composer working with Hans Zimmer on No Time to Die. And on his Instagram story earlier today, he put up a post saying, "Awesome experience to work with Billy and Phineas on this." Phineas is Billie Eilish's brother, co-producer, co-writer. So we do have a couple hands in this, and obviously Hans Zimmer is going to perform the song with Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is going to perform the song at the Brit Awards, and Hans Zimmer is going to be there conducting the orchestra. So that's going to be on February 18th. So it's we'll see. I mean, Steve Mazzaro also recently composed the score for the rhythm section. So I mean, I don't know how many people saw it. Obviously, not many people saw it, but this is essentially a collaboration between the score. Anyway, will be a collaboration between Hans Zimmer and Steve Mazzaro.
Nice,
interesting.
It's going to be great. Yeah. I can't wait.
What's nice about that is the fact that Hans Zimmer is so closely tied in with the song. There he is conducting. I don't think we've had that closeness between composer and title artist.
No.
Since probably Casino, is it really?
Although I do have a slight bone to pick with JW, because in the last Emergency podcast, he actually called Hans Zimmer the greatest living composer, and I'm like, your name is John Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take anything away from Hans Zimmer.
That might have been. I don't know what that was. Too much.
You get excited sometimes, John. That's all right.
Hey, it's just the price I have to pay for putting it out there. But no, that was probably either sarcasm or stupidity. Too much caffeine. But no, he is definitely not the greatest living composer. But I do remember saying that.
Yeah, I was listening because I wasn't in on that podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But I had to do a double.
Apparently, neither was I. Oh man, but it's going to be good. You're right, Tom. To see that they have that kind of relationship working together is, to me, a huge indicator that we are going to have that theme song weaved into. There's no way Hans Zimmer is going to have that great relationship and omit her from, having that theme interweave into the film. So things aren't looking good for Bond, are they?
No.
No.
I tell you, do you know what? On that little sort of recent teaser they put out on the Super Bowl ad, there was that sort of slight little 30-second thing. There was that line that says the 25th film changes everything.
Yeah, well, we'll
Now,
change
here are my, or will change everything. That was it. Sorry, will change everything. Now, my thoughts are, okay, does that mean it changes everything in Daniel's run? Like, we're going to look at his whole run of films in a different way because of what happens in this one, or there are a lot of rumors floating around that Rami is Dr. No and all that kind of stuff. Or does it mean it changes everything? Meaning, going right back to 62, does Bond die? Is this a Rogue One style reboot where the end of No Time to Die leads into the opening scenes of Dr. No and it places Daniel in the official timeline? What does it mean? Brian, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to change everything?
Well, I sincerely hope it's your first explanation. I don't know on that one. I really don't know. I just hope they tie Daniel's reign in tightly and it makes sense. I'm gonna have to go with your first one. I think if they go back to Dr. No, I really don't like the sound of doing that. I can't see that working.
So, what your prediction is that Rami isn't Dr. No? He's his own man. Safin is a thing. Yeah. He has been very cagey in the press lately with people bringing that up, and he's like not giving anything away. There was a previous thing where he says he outright said, "It's not like I was playing Dr. No or anything." So it's like he said no, but then here's my thought on this: is that Eon are rubbish at keeping secrets. We all knew that Oberhauser was Blofeld. You know what I mean? We all knew that that Field Agent E was Moneypenny. We all knew that was coming. So maybe it's another one where that has slipped out and he is Dr. No.
Yeah.
And they've just not kept the secret. I don't want that's the thing. I don't want him to be Dr. No. I think with that mask and this whole thing, you've got enough meat there to make a really good, solid new Bond villain. I feel like to make him Dr. No, unless there's a really good reason for it that we're missing, I can't see why you would do that. I just don't
understand that. Joseph Wiseman, he was just so iconic in that role. Why do it again? It's like getting somebody else to play Goldfinger other than Gert Frobe. It's just totally pointless.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, there was a kind of a journalistic kind of slip up early on when Rami Malek was first announced. I think it was CBS. They put on their website when they announced Rami Malek was going to be the villain. They did say he was playing Dr. No, and then about a few hours after they published the article, they re-edited it and deleted that part. So if it's true that Eon are terrible at keeping secrets, that might, and it turns out that Safin is Dr. No, that maybe something happened there, that something got out prematurely.
On Good Morning America, he said his favorite film was Dr. No, which always struck me as a little odd. Really? Like this young guy, his favorite movie is Dr. No? That's that's a strange answer. It's not Goldfinger, it's not Daniel, it's a Casino, it's Dr. No. Dude, your granddad wasn't even born when Dr. No was.
There's also one more visual clue from the trailers that I don't know if we want to talk about because it might be a spoiler. I don't want to give anything away. I don't know if you want me to say it, but there is a very distinctive visual clue in the trailer where you see Safin on the frozen lake. I mean, Calvin Dyson actually, when he did his video on it, he pointed it out, and I don't want to say it because obviously, it might go into spoiler territory, but there is.
See, I've not noticed what that thing is, so I'm scared now. But go on, carry on.
Yeah, there is that one visual clue that I think some people have caught on to, but I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to be accused of spoiling the movie. So,
All right, so I tell you what, then there's everybody's homework is go and watch that trailer bit again, and if you want to, and see if you can spot what that visual clue is, or watch Calvin's video.
yeah, if you don't want to be totally
All right.
spoiled, watch Calvin.
Yeah. Oh, I'm nervous now. I'm genuinely nervous after you said that. Just quickly, some more comments have come in as we've been talking, and there is a lot of positivity, it must be said.
Great.
We've got one from Matt Jones. A good Bond vibe, and the lyrics seem to fit. A bit slow, but I expected that. I think I like it. Reno D says, wow, classic Bond smoothness. I love it. Matt Castro says, I like it. A little sleepy, but the vocal is good. Adrian Skirmer says, it's going to be a modern classic. Trust me. Peter Merck says, she didn't embarrass the franchise. Frankly, I love it. So, looking at it now,
It's
I would
nice
say
to see some positivity.
Yeah.
you know what? Looking at it now, I would say the positivity is more common amongst the comments on JBR than the negativity. There's a lot of.
I'm afraid to look on Bond Twitter because I'm pretty sure if you do hashtag James Bond right now, I don't know if there'll be that many positive comments.
You've thrown down the gauntlet, Jack. I'm getting on Twitter right now, and I'm going to have a little look and see what's going on. Right, let's find.
Because I mean, the JBR family, as you know, are a very generous, kind bunch. So obviously, we do have some people who are very critical, but I'm kind of afraid to look at the Twitter comments.
All right, let's do this. So at 007, James Bond. Let's see what the wider community. Let's see. Hold on a minute. Have they even posted this on? Where is it?
Yeah, it should be up there.
I can see it. I can't see it on their Twitter. They've posted the little teaser, but maybe they haven't actually posted the whole song. All right.
Well, if you just look up hashtag James Bond, just look up the
hashtag.
Yeah,
look at you being Bond. Down with the kids, Jack, and your hashtag knowledge. Look at that. All right. Okay, here we go. Right. Let's scroll down. Fucking hell. Hold on. Right, my Twitter skills are sorely lacking. I'm just getting loads of general No Time to Die stuff. So let's go. Because Twitter, generally speaking, are a somewhat negative bunch, aren't they? So I'm going to look at the JBR Twitter, so at least I've got something to talk about and people aren't at home screaming at me. Okay. I've listened to it at least 5 times. This is Frank McNeely, and I don't remember the last time I felt so good about a Bond song the very first time I heard it. I also like the song more each time I listen to it. I'm so excited for No Time to Die. I have a feeling that Billie Eilish was the right choice. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. This is Louis Pachon. Don't get me wrong, I liked it, but the pace is too slow, especially when we have No Time to Die. Jonathan Shield says, it's dull. Same, hoping it's a grower and seeing it with Kleinman's work bumps it up a lot. Terry Adams says, I like it, very atmospheric, very Bond. There's a lot of positivity, but there is also some negativity, which I think, looking at our feed, it seems to be weighed more in the positive, which may be,
that's great. Like
you say, Jack, it might be a sign of it being the JBR family, because we are more of a positive lot, generally speaking. Yeah. But who knows? We will see.
That's great.
Generational thing, I think, as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe it will introduce some new teenagers.
Yeah, I think that's the hope too. I mean, I think when they selected her, that was kind of the goal. Which I think maybe that they will be. Yeah, I think they will be successful. I mean, she does have a huge following, and she just won those huge, those Grammy Awards. I think she won 4 of them, the major categories anyway. So yeah, I do think from a marketing perspective, it was smart to pick her, and maybe this will bring some more young people to Bond.
Absolutely. Let's hope. The thing I find shocking is that only 2 years ago, Billie Eilish would have been doing her exams and would have still been at school. And that when Spectre came out, she'd have been 13 years old. that makes me feel old as fuck.
And we were going on and on this podcast about who's going to be next. And it was some girl sitting and doing her math homework, for Christ's sake.
And, my God.
So what does that say about who the next Bond is? Shoot me.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Jesus Christ. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's round out the episode then. Let's hear your current thoughts and whether the thumb goes up, to the middle, or down. Starting with you, Dobson. Current thoughts, thumbs up, middle, down.
My current thoughts is this will be a grower. At the moment, I think it's a bit meh for me, so I'm going to give it a middle thumb. I do think it's got potential to grow on me, though.
All right, fair enough.
Ask me that question.
All right, sounds good. Commander Lugo.
I'm with Brian on this. I'm kind of in the middle. I have to listen to it more. I think once we get the song and you watch the song along with the title sequence in the film, and it'll belong to that film, and so we'll associate it with it. So I think that has a huge that has a great deal to do with how we appreciate the Bond songs, because we identify them with the film that they belong to. So I think once that moment happens, then I think it'll be intrinsically Bond, and I think it'll definitely be in the rotation. And I think it'll grow on me. Right now I'm in the middle, but I do think I'll grow to love it.
All right, good stuff, JW.
I'm growing to love it more and more, and I'm not even listening to it.
Beautiful.
I think it's James Bond, so I'm going to end up loving it. And I'm looking forward to spending time with it. And lastly, I just want to say that she is responsible for Vesper's death. He can't forgive her, and he sacrifices himself at the tail end to save her life, giving his life after so many women gave their lives for him. Boom.
Oh, mate.
That just came into my head. And this song, I'm thinking of that when I'm listening to this song. That's my prediction.
Seriously dark.
Right?
But he hasn't got time for it, Dan Gale says. He's got no time to die.
Right.
So would that make sense?
That's ironic.
Oh, I'm scared. I've never been more nervous to watch a Bond film after
he's
that.
Done. He's gone. He's a goner.
So my parting thoughts are, it gets the thumbs up from me. It definitely sounds Bond. It could have been a whole lot worse. I like it. I would say, though, on the other side of that coin, it's nothing really new or groundbreaking. It's not like when Macca brought out Live and Let Die. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a new thing that's like, whoa, this is changing the game for Bond songs. It's almost a copy of Writings on the Wall. Like, I feel like you could sing the melody to Writings on the Wall over the top of No Time to Die, and it would fit. Very, very similar. So it is kind of more of the same, but at the same time, it is very Bondy, and I like Bondy stuff. So I'm on board with it. So I'm going to go and listen to it on loop all day, and then we'll see how we feel next time we do a round table. But I do think, like with all things Bond, it will come to life when we see it with the title sequence, some of those lyrics are very, it's not like she's done a Sigmund Freud analyze this and just farted out a tune. She's thought about it. She's obviously read the script. She's tied the lyrics in with what's happening in the song. So she's been respectful, and I'm happy about that. That's my thoughts. So it gets a thumbs up from Tommy.
And I just want to say one last thing. I just want to say one last thing, guys. This is this moment that I don't know. This moment right now, the day that the new song comes out, it hits me that in just a few weeks we're going to have a new James Bond movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is it. It's a reality.
How long have we waited?
There's no turning back. There's no more delays. We have the theme song. It's the dawn of a new James Bond film, Daniel Craig's last.
Yes,
baby. Exciting times. Does it ever get more exciting than that?
That's as good as it gets.
Before in the Bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool
Actually, before we go, I also I recently I'm encouraging people to set up the JBR groups. Because if you want to go see No Time to Die with fellow JBR listeners, definitely if you don't have a group for your region or for your area, get in touch with us. Let us know so you can set one up and see if there are JBR listeners in your area, so you can go see No Time to Die.
Right on.
Good stuff.
Just before we go, one thing we haven't talked about, and it's a different thing entirely. Running time, 165 minutes.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Longest
2
Bond
hours 45
ever.
minutes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I think is the time limit for IMAX. That happens to coincide.
Right.
That was the length of time for The Dark Knight too. So I think it's very much I'm going to be an IMAX presentation. And I recently also posted on the Facebook page. There's a guide to seeing the right kind of IMAX, because there are some theaters that have like the IMAX that isn't the most optimal. So you want to look for the IMAX laser 70 millimeter theaters. If there's
Good
one in your
knowledge.
area, you should try to see the Bond film there, because obviously this is a very special occasion.
Excellent.
All right, good knowledge. Do you know where my mind goes when you say that, Brian? That 2 hours 45 minutes. Shit, I'm probably going to need a wee at some point through my first year in a bit.
Yes, no time to
And
pee.
what am I going to
Oh,
and I'm going to be
man.
sitting there cross-legged, going, "I can't go. I have to watch it." But there we go. All right, cool.
Bring a
One last
bottle
thing,
in
we've
with
all had a
you.
lot to add. If you haven't already, join the JBR HQ Facebook group. So that's if you want to discuss this some more. Make sure you join that. That's something we set up relatively recently, and I realised we've never mentioned it on the actual podcast. So just type in JBR HQ into Facebook, and you can join our official Facebook group as well, and talk all things Bond. All right, we are back tomorrow, JW, aren't we? With the music of Bond. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody!
Yeah.
You're getting a double barrel Bond this week.
There you go.
We'll be talking about For Your Eyes Only, aren't we?
I've never laughed harder. Wait until you guys hear this episode. Seriously, Tommy, for 3 or 4 days, I was on the floor rolling around listening to anyway, just hang on to your socks, folks, because you're going to be in a good mood. This was over.
It was a beauty. It must be said. Yeah, it went places we didn't think it was going to go, and it surpassed all expectations.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
it? Yeah.
so good. I'm very proud of that. So I'm excited for everyone to hear that.
Beautiful stuff. So that'll be out tomorrow. In the meantime, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Let us know on all the JBR socials what you think of Billie Eilish's tune. And like you say, JW, we're only a few weeks now. It must be said, today was going to be the release date, wasn't it? Do you remember when they first delayed it? It was to Valentine's Day 2020. So
that's right.
then they delayed it again, obviously. So we would have all been going to see No Time to Die tonight had that stuck around. But obviously we've got a few weeks to wait. So, all right, good stuff.
Excellent.
All right, then. Until next time, I've been Tom Sears.
I've been Brian Dobson.
I've been JW.
I've been Jack Lugo. Sorry.
And James Bond Radio. And James Bond Radio will return tomorrow with the music of Bond and For Your Eyes Only. We'll see you then, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Good night.